So a little over 4 years ago, we built this really fabulous 6,000 gallon reef aquarium up in Atlanta. And it was quite the endeavor. It was a very involved process in a lower floor and a renovation of a home. And there were just so many nuances of complexities involved with the space and everything about it. So we're gonna go today and go back a little bit in history and then give you a really cool, super updated video of what it looks like today with over 3.5 years of operating saltwater. How the heck you're gonna build a 6,000 gallon reef aquarium in 5 months in somebody's home? So they said they wanted to place this huge aquarium down into the basement of the home, and the only way it was going to fit down the hallway was in 3 different pieces. So the aquarium came from California. We hired out a rigging company and a crane company and went to town to organize bringing in 3 different segments of this massive aquarium. We had a really great team of people and got it in place ready to be bolted together and then lowered into the floor and fiberglass back together. We had about 6,800 pounds of Marco rock that I free stacked into the aquarium. There's a huge fiber grate grid in that base rock. They set me in the tank because I'm the shortest guy. Again,
you're doing a really good job.
And it was just a tremendous amount of work to get all of this rock into the aquarium with a long term in mind of a spatial layout and how it's going to look as the corals grow in through the years to come.
We have the reborn gravel on the bottom. We have a small area down here for stingrays with some bioactive sand. We brought in the life rock right here to fill in some gaps. And we have a whole bunch of Haitian live rock that we brought in special for here to fill in the area underneath. A couple swim through, a bunch of area for the fish. And tomorrow, saltwater.
Luckily, we have pretty good connections with the Georgia Aquarium, and I was able to organize getting a water tanker truck to pick up over 5,000 gallons of newly made instant ocean saltwater, and we filled the aquarium after the freshwater test with saltwater, one fell swoop in about 40 minutes, super fast.
For a big tank, you need the big CHEMI-PURE blue. That's right. We'll put it into the reactor, a dozen of them here for our 6,000 gallons. In the next 24 hours, it'll be crystal clear with CHEMI-PURE blue.
There's 23 radions above the aquarium. These were Gen 3s in the very beginning. There's 4 sea swirls in the front. There was 3 tunsies to begin with. And before you know, we had saltwater up and running and lights running. So here it was on the very first day filled with saltwater and operating. 2 weeks, so here I am cleaning the diatom bloom in the front of the aquarium, which is pretty typical, with the huge mighty magnet on the 4¼ inch thick bent front acrylic window. Some of the very first fish were those yellow tangs, a school of tangs into the aquarium. And you should see those tangs today. They're giant and beautiful and super healthy. Here's our end view coming down the hallway.
Well, I think I'm going to go diving in the tank. I have my hard hat on, my mask, my regulator. Oh, it works. No hyperventilating.
You wasted all the air!
Oh, let's go.
A lot of the diving has to deal with planting corals into the aquarium. Typically, I'm wearing ankle weights in a big aquarium like this to keep your feet from flopping around. All of the original corals were all aquacultured from ORA, and we started putting in stylophoras and montiporas and seriatopora and things of that nature. You can see the tremendous amount of current from the Tunzi propeller pumps and 3 positions in the aquarium. And here's the original state of the surface equipment. You notice the water tanks on the left side of the view for our water exchange system, 1 for fresh and 2 for salt. You can do a 330 gallon saltwater change at a time with all the mixing transfer valves and switches properly mounted up to the wall. It's still operating in the same exact fashion 4 years later with the Iwaki pumps. Here's our first shipment of more corals and fish coming in from A&M Aquatics up in Lansing, Michigan. FedEx does a wonderful job getting them to us. And then here we are starting to put in more fish, more corals into the aquarium. You can see we have a little bit of additional algae growing, maybe the first good growth of coralline algae, more live rock in, some anthias and blue tangs, and other really great friendly reef fish throughout the aquarium. It's only 4 weeks of operating at that time. Just the beginning of a really fabulous 6,000 gallon reef aquarium. From the beginning of the aquarium, you'll notice how much growth in Chaeto we had in that Chaeto spinner. pH was a little suppressed at that point, but we're really uptaking a lot of organic matter from just leaching through the rocks and everything in the aquarium at that time. The Chaeto grew super well. You can see with the blue lights on down the length of the aquarium, running only now at barely 3 months of operating. Lots of fish, at least 120 fish in the aquarium. From the very beginning, I like starting out with smaller fish. Allow the fish to grow into their habitat versus dominate the habitat. And now you can see all the coralline algae starting to grow everywhere in the aquarium. The fish, interestingly enough, like to eat it, little bits of algae that come off while you're cleaning. The next day after the cleaning, you can see the aquarium is crystal clear with the CHEMI-PURE blue and literally gin clear water. So here we fast forward about 2 years, and you can see the tremendous growth going on. Lots of color, lots of fish. With the orange filter on, it's tremendous. We had an opportunity to have Amanda go up for her first trip in September of 21 to do a dive in the aquarium and do the detail and the cleaning of the glass, have fun swimming with the fishes, cleaning the window, adjusting corals, gluing down corals, and just general care in the aquarium. So all the fish are growing. The flamingo tanks have gotten super big. They're probably 10 inches long or more in under a 2-year period. Then the top-down view in November of 21 was spectacular. And corals are growing like weeds everywhere. So recently in February, we upgraded to a full-face dive mask. You're in the water for a couple hours and the mask gets imprints on your face. You're doing the siphoning. You got the full face mask where you're breathing even through your nose and you're siphoning. It makes it a lot easier. So this past month we went back onto site. There has been some changes. The owner had taken out the pool table, put in some new furniture, and made the aquarium the focal point of the room now. You can sit there, put your glasses on, and look at the aquarium at night with the lights off, and it becomes this really intensely beautiful 6,000 gallon living coral reef aquarium in your home to gaze at and enjoy. That is just a fascinating underwater world. 30 years ago, this was really not attainable. To where we are now is just fabulous. We're still planting corals on the back wall now. We're going to get the whole entire wall filled with corals and growing up the back flat wall. So building such a large aquarium in somebody's home is a major undertaking. It's taken months of time in our lives to create such a fabulous aquarium, and here it is in all of its glory.